So yeah, oh boy, clearly we have a lot to discuss related to Starfield and the Video Game Awards. Yeah, this should be interesting. And it really isn't all bad news, so stay tuned for that. Then there's this right here, David Harbour from Stranger Things, Gran Turismo the movie. Well, he talked positively about Starfield. He loves it. Let's see what he has to say despite the controversy. But I kid you not, this is real. This dude right here starting up a hashtag justice for Starfield. And you know what? Starfield, it isn't perfect. It doesn't have to win a Game of the Year award. I mean, come on. But yeah, we definitely got to dive deep into this headline right here. It says Starfield's been left out to dry at the Game Awards, and even dedicated fans are not terribly surprised. You know, I'm definitely not surprised. And there were some heavy hitters for that category, that big category, Game of the Year 2023. And if you missed it, real quick recap here, we have Alan Wake 2 in there. My personal pick for this year's Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4. Now, that one did stir up some controversy because people are like, hey, that needs to be thrown in a remake category. It shouldn't be thrown in here. Let me know if you guys agree with that or not. Then we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Curious, what'd you guys vote for? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, it's not all bad news for Starfield. I know Starfield didn't end up in the Game of the Year category, and I know Bethesda wishes that it would have. But hey, here it is. It's sitting here for the nomination for Best RPG between Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, and there sits Starfield. It's going to go to Baldur's Gate 3. I have no doubt about that, of course. But hey, it's nominated. It's not like it's all doom and gloom. And Starfield, for me, is a good game. Is it Game of the Year? It doesn't have to be Game of the Year. Some of my favorite movies, they don't win Oscars, and they don't have to win Oscars. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, the community has not been quiet about this one. It says, what's more, no one even seems all that surprised. Least of all people who like it. In the Starfield subreddit, a thread announcing the game's absence from the Game of the Year category with over 8,000 upvotes, I think it sits at 9,600 or something, is flooded with shrugged shoulders and sad sighs. I really enjoy and love Starfield, but I'm not terribly surprised, writes user initial quote 000. Further comments seeing the same story tune. So it seems like the Starfield community pretty much on the same page overall. Some people are hailing this as their favorite game of the year. And then there's some that go to the extreme end and have really stirred up their own hashtags and movements and things like that. We'll get into that in just a moment. But yeah, everyone has a different opinion about this one. And this has definitely been a very entertaining ride with Starfield. A very divisive game for sure, which is fine. But hey, that's going to happen. I'm going to grab my popcorn when it does. So yeah, then we have some context here from X357 who says BG3 has endless choice. That's Baldur's Gate 3, of course. Starfield has zero choice. I have 250 hours and love, hate it, but understand what it is. It's not even an RPG. Every time I tried to complete a different quest a different way, it didn't work. There's only one option or another semi-option that will make everyone hate you for 10 seconds, then forget. Zero choice or consequences, which is what is needed for RPGs. And he finally says this, Starfield is a fun action-adventure game with light roleplay elements, though. And it seems like a lot of people were expecting a lot more from the game. I myself, I kind of had an idea of what Starfield was going to be before it released again, and I was really, really kind of guarding my hype level, and I was, at the end of the day, having fun with the game, and still am. Here comes the hate comments. My point is, just like what you like. Who cares about awards? Who cares what critics say, your friends say? If you enjoy it, go for it. That's how I feel about gaming anyway, or anything in particular, movies, what have you. Just enjoy what you want to enjoy. But yeah, then we have this one right here. This one comes from Xbox Curator, who says, Justice for Starfield FTGA, which is the Game Awards, Xbox Starfield. And he goes on to play this trailer here. I'm going to only play a little bit of it, of course. But it showcases, the new Mario game. And it says, is better than this? He's saying that Mario is better than Starfield? How could that even be possible? And I say for some people it can. Gaming is a very subjective experience, Some people love that sort of thing. I myself, I really enjoy Starfield. But ultimately, this year, Alan Wake 2, holy crap, can't recommend it enough. I'm just saying, guys, if you are missing out on that one, don't. And you can kind of see all the replies here to this topic. Yeah. People are like, wait, what's delete this? Yeah, so you can see what's going on here. The reaction are like, wait, come on now. Let's lighten up about this one. This is not life or death. I just don't think that hashtag justice for Starfield is going to be taking off. I'm just going to say it. But, you know, you can try, but, you know, people are still playing the game. We're going to get into the numbers here in just a moment, by the way, compared to Skyrim. That's definitely interesting because Skyrim actually overtook Starfield. It's a conspiracy. So this is really cool. David Harbour came out and he basically sung a song of praise for Starfield, saying that he's really enjoying it despite all the controversies that are going on around Starfield. Yes.
Starfield, I loved it. I mean, it's been controversial. Bethesda games, there's something about them that are just so rich in that world.
Which I thought was cool to see because, you know, he didn't keep his mouth shut about it. He still gave his opinion knowing that it goes against the grain, so to speak. And he's willing to say what he likes despite there being tons of hate for Starfield. There is so much hate for Starfield. If you go out and you say you enjoy Starfield, it feels like you're walking on ice. And you're like, oh man, who did I offend just by saying that? Which I just think is kind of like ridiculous. It's just a game at the end of the day. There are much more serious things going on in the world. But yeah, let's bring up a bigger discussion to see that Starfield didn't make hardly any nominations beyond just best RPG. You know, it didn't even make categories like for best graphics or anything like that. And it brings up this discussion right here, which is definitely interesting. It says Phil and the Xbox team seeing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Diablo 4, and Starfield get ignored at the Game Awards ceremony. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. But that doesn't mean Starfield did terrible. It was Bethesda's biggest launch, apparently, in terms of numbers, sales, that sort of thing. So it's been very, very good for Game Pass. So in that regard, it is a win for Microsoft. It's just not having the staying power that they want. And I think they wanted more staying power, like Baldur's Gate 3. Again, we're going to get into those numbers in just a moment. But I will say this about Microsoft. They have some amazing stuff cooking up. Have you seen the new Fable trailer? By the way, a lot of people assume that was complete cinematics. And guess what? They confirmed that was 100% gameplay. I think that game is going to absolutely blow everyone away. But yeah, as promised, here's this right here. Starfield has fewer Steam players than Skyrim 2 months after launch. And I had to check. I was like, wait, is there truth to this? So let's head on over to Steam database. And it's pretty revealing. We have Skyrim here. Now, this is the one of the editions. Oh, yes, the special edition. All right, so stick with me. We have 18,835 players on right now. It's about like 6:34 p.m. over here, by the way. So it's probably higher midday around 12 or what have you. And then we have Starfield at 19,686 players. So it's pretty much even right now. But then you have to consider the numbers off of Steam for both of these games, by the way, for like Xbox. And then there's Xbox Game Pass that you have to consider, PC Game Pass, and Starfield would be in there as well. But yeah, I think ultimately Bethesda was kind of hoping for these kind of numbers a couple months after release. Baldur's Gate 3 is seeing 100,000 concurrent players. And I think that's what they were hoping for with Starfield. And it's just not happening. And I think that they're probably kind of surprised, which means they need to really take their time on Elder Scrolls 6, go back to the drawing board, slow down, and really just be honest with themselves. Really ask themselves, like, what can they really do to improve what they do with open world RPG experiences? And again, I've said time and time again, it doesn't matter so much to have 1,000 of this or what have you. That's not what is important. Quantity isn't it for me at all. Just get the details down. You can have even more of an intimate experience. Of course, I do expect Elder Scrolls 6 to be a mammoth of a game, but I don't want them to accidentally go the Starfield route where it's just too big and not much to do. But yeah, now it's time to go over your top comments. I love reading your guys' comments. Remember to leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So what was my most recent video about? Check it out. It says Starfield just got a very surprising news update, but there's a catch. This was an interesting one because, yes, Starfield won Game of the Year, but for the Xbox category. And a lot of people were like, well, it wasn't competitive at all. So, of course, it's going to win. So, we're going to get into what you guys had to say about this one. But yeah, for just like the Xbox category, I would say Starfield is my top pick. Again, like, I'm still really enjoying it. But yeah, let's get into your comments. We have Long Death, who says, I think the reason bug fixes are dropping so slow is that it seems they are hard to duplicate. For example, the only major bug I ran into on my first playthrough of over 400 hours was the worlds apart never triggered for me. If the devs can't reproduce the bug, they can't diagnose the problem. Interesting assessment right there. Then we have a missed opportunity, in my humble opinion, is with Outposts. They could have made planetary exploration 10 times better by including a feature where you have various factions all competing for land and resources on planets. Dude, see, yes, you should be on the development team, Paradox. Just go get hired. It says you could, for instance, try to take over existing outposts or allies with them. You need to build your own outposts first. Let's see, what does it say? Amass an army, then try to take control of rival outposts and allies with a faction to assist you. Diplomacy would also play a role where you would need to share resources and trade with ally factions and also assist them if their outpost comes under attack. I suspect it would have lengthened the development period significantly if they did this, but Starfield would have been a completely different game if this was in place. Yeah, I just wanted more faction stuff. I really wanted fully involved faction system. You saw a lot of that in Skyrim, of course, but it felt completely absent in many ways in Starfield and very underwhelming as a feature. So it would have been very cool to tie that up with Outposts, because I would have definitely pursued building more outposts for sure, because outposts right now are more about like resource management, which for me is kind of like, that's not what I want to do. I want to go out there and do my guerrilla warfare style playthrough where I can go in through outposts, have some action, and then have some downtime in cities like Aquila, have a home there, what have you. That's my playstyle. But dude, this would interest me big time if they could pursue something like this as like some sort of expansion or something. All right, let's get into another comment, shall we? So we have Akira204 who says, I got from level 37 to 104 fairly quickly, traveling around the Serpentine system, destroying Varon ships, occasionally Starborn ships with just well rest XP buff. I've never been to New Game Plus, and currently my main quest so far is only at the point where the hunter attacks for the first time. So it sounds like you've been very, very busy doing a lot of the side activities. I'm kind of curious to see how many hours you have put into the game so far doing that. So that's what I'm curious about. But anyway, there it is. The latest happenings around Starfield. Thank you all so much for all the love and support on the videos. I know, despite Starfield seeing so much controversy, it just seems like some of you are still willing to come to my videos and watch the video. So I really, really do appreciate the love and support on that one for sure. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to eventually start talking about something new in time. Do not worry. It's not like the channel is going to be permanently Starfield. So yeah, give me some time with that, of course. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more. And I will see you all next time. Take care.